A few days ago, the Funkin team released the long-awaited Pitstop 2 update, featuring several bug fixes, new events, and of course, new songs. Let's take a look at some of these additions. First of all, unfortunately, a few hours before the release dropped properly, the songs were leaked through DistroKid. I say leaked with big air quotes because the songs were released through official channels just early. This and the newly added scoreboard to Funkin on Newgrounds revealed that Rose's Pico mix was the 6th unannounced song coming to this update, making sense of the little question mark in the video's description. I said it before that I expected it to be a new Monster song due to his brief appearance at the beginning of the Pitstop 2 teaser, but the week 6 Pico mixes are so good I can't even be mad. Actually, that's a good place to start while talking about these new songs. Senpai and Rose's Pico mix come with a few additions to the pixelated week. First of all, new stage backgrounds for remixes of week 6 songs, seeming to take place at dusk. This also applies to Thorns, as the background for Thorns Erect is more dilapidated and destroyed, with leafless, angular trees jutting out of the ground. Senpai Pico mix finally includes T. Lopes to the list of guest composers, a long-awaited addition. There's also a few UI adjustments added to these pixel stages. Remixed week 6 songs now have a new dialogue box, and we have new dialogue sprites for Senpai, Pico, and Nene. Up until now, pixel icons didn't have any variations, but now there are unique losing icons for Senpai, Spirit, Boyfriend, and of course, now Pico. Pixel stages also now have unique note splash animations, and just like regular stages, they're colored based on the note pressed. Nene raising her knife in preparation to throw currently doesn't work properly on pixel stages, but were working during playtesting, so a future hotfix is likely to add this back properly. Despite this, Pico still gets stabbed in his new Pixel Game Over sprites, and along with it comes a new Pico Game Over remix. In order to make exporting pixelated sprites for these stages easier, Ninja Muffin 99 developed Ace Sparrow, an extension for Ace Sprite that allows animations to be exported into Sparrow V2 format the same way Adobe Animate does, creating a sprite sheet and XML combo. Originally, XMLs had to be made by hand, but this remedies that issue. The 4 additional T songs are also included in this update: Lit Up Boyfriend Mix, Pico Coco, Darnell Erect, and Pico Stress. There really isn't much to report when it comes to those first 3 songs, not due to the quality of the new mixes, but because these are stages we've seen before, all except Pico Stress. The addition of Stress Pico Mix introduces a new stage background for week 7 remixes, Frank's Spirits and Bowling, as seen in Tank Men 2. Originally, it was believed that the Pico clone would replace Nene atop A-Bot like in Pico mixes of Pico songs, but fans were pleasantly surprised to see Pico's cousin Otis swoop in to save the day, dual-wielding AK-47s. Tankman even calls him a knockoff due to the character originally being a recolor of Pico. Otis's new design was created by Gak Denzo, a much-needed glow-up for the modern iteration of the character. Just because Captain isn't in Otis's crosshairs doesn't mean he's safe, as partway through the song, Nene throws her knife directly into his head. This updates his icon, now showing the blade in his frontal lobe. Tankman now has 10 new voice lines for if the player fudges it in Stress Pico mix. Most of them are pretty bad, but still in tune with the vulgar nature of the character. And speaking of vulgar, Pico's middle finger animation in his Bo Peepo and Spookies mixes have been restored, flipping us the bird even in the dark. Also, Pico mix stages now have their own sticker transitions, featuring Pico school characters, Daddy Dearest, items associated with the character, and OG Pico. The sticker transition only uses the new Pico, Nene, and Darnell related stickers when transitioning from a Weekend 1 track. Tutorial is now also only boyfriend and girlfriend stickers. Pico's turntable idol still hasn't been implemented into his free play animation, and boyfriends seem to currently not be working either. Pico also still doesn't have an excellent results screen, but let's go back to what the update has and not what it doesn't. The naughtiness filter does affect pre-Rose's dialogue for the Pico mix, but doesn't affect Stress Pico mix at all. Boyfriend's perfect results screen is also affected by the filter, making him stay in his clothes with the text "Tickle Fight" flashing on screen. There's also now a new strumline dimming feature that creates a transparent back to the strum lines to better see oncoming notes. The stage editor for Bass Funkin is actually operational now, making for easier level building with a visual interface. The animation editor is also accessible, but currently crashes the game due to being unfinished. These tools exist to not only help speed up production of the V-Slice, but to make modding more accessible like Psych Engine. The creator of Psych Engine actually finished Psych recently, and states that he hopes more people use Bass Funkin for modding as opposed to alternate engines. With each update to the V-Slice, Funkin becomes more and more powerful as a tool. And sure, there's always kinks to be ironed out, but as more time goes on, it becomes apparent that in the long term, using the base game tools is the way to go. And finally, the last thing I want to talk about is the implementation of medals in this update. Players can now log into their Newgrounds account on the desktop version of Funkin, allowing for the unlocking of Newgrounds medals. For the longest time, Funkin only had 3 medals. Back before the Week 4 update, players would have to unlock weeks by playing them in order, unlocking the next week alongside a medal. Since the game was growing rapidly, the addition of new weeks made it difficult for returning players who only wanted to play the new content, so the progression system was removed. This new set of medals were added to the Funkin Newgrounds page a few hours before the update, and pressing report on the hidden medal would reveal the name of it, giving the community an early glimpse into how to earn them. My personal favorite is the medal for completing Weekend 1, called Yo, Really Think So, due to the name being a nod to that fake production still that was floating around before the Weekend 1 update. Nice is a pretty close second, getting 69% on any song, but that still haunted the community for a while. It's too funny to not be number 1. And that is pretty much everything in the Pitstop 2 update. A lot to unpack for what was described as a tiny music pack update, but hey, I'm here for it.
This guy didn't mention Day-Day's hair being affected by the passing train in week 3 now. He's a fraud!
And now we have the week 8 update to look forward to, the first addition to the main story in a very long time. I'll see you there. Until next time.